My name's Alex. As you probably already know, we did meet through Facebook, sort of. So I have your draft in front of me, and I've looked it over. It looks nice overall, but I have a few things I'd like to work with you on. And let's see. So your first line, I think, was nicely written. I like your comments about it being attractive and original. It's professional, yet it's positive, and you want to start off kind of with the good news first and then tell him, Mr. Womack, what you need to be changed. So I think that's nicely done. Two things in the second paragraph where you talk about the change part of your scrap model. The first thing is that 2 megabytes, you'd want to specify what 2 megabytes is of. You could say 2 megabytes of graphic, 2 megabytes of animation, however you want to phrase it. I think you want to let Mr. Womack know specifically what you're referring to. I hope that makes sense. Also, you want to avoid starting a sentence with a number. You could introduce it by saying having 2 megabytes of blah 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 equals, or having 2 megabytes, oh, that was the same thing. You could say downloading 2 megabytes or requiring 2 megabytes, just a word to introduce the 2 so it's not at the beginning of the sentence. Secondly, in this paragraph, I think the word make, when you say too much loading time will make us lose some potential clients, is probably not your best word choice, only for the reason that here make implies that something is forcing something else to happen, which is not the case here. A longer loading time is simply undesirable by clients, and they choose to leave because they don't want to wait. So they're not being forced to leave, they're doing it by choice. A better word to use might be leads to or results, and that would sound like too much loading time will result in us losing potential clients, or too much loading time will lead to a loss of potential clients. And in this sense, you're saying that losing potential clients is a result or an effect of longer loading times. I hope that makes sense. Let's see, your third paragraph I think overall was nicely done. A few things with word choice again. I think imagination is probably not your best word choice, for the reason that Mr. Womack won't need his imagination to fix the problem. He will need to use his skills and decide which animation he wants to keep, which one he thinks is too big and taking too much time, and that's more of his skills and ability than his imagination. So that I think you could change. Also, by the sounds of the letter so far, or the email rather, by saying slight detail, it sounds like this isn't a huge problem, but from the sounds of it, you could lose money because the page takes too long to download, so it could rather be a problem than only a slight detail. In other words, you would want to say, we'll overcome this problem, or we'll overcome this issue, instead of slight detail. And then lastly for this paragraph, I don't think it's necessary that you say the project being still in its infancy, ... Only for the reason that if there wasn't time to fix this problem, you wouldn't be sending Mr. Womack a letter, or an email rather, I keep saying letter. You wouldn't be sending him the email. So since it's already a given that he has time to fix this, you don't need to state in your email that you still have time to fix this. Does that make sense? Okay. And then lastly, when you say, if you would accept to review your first proposal, ... the phrase, if you would accept, gives Mr. Womack a choice. He can accept it or he cannot accept it. However, as his employer, you want to order Mr. Womack to make necessary changes. Therefore, you don't want to give him a choice of whether he can make changes or not. Go ahead here and be more direct and just say, please send us your revised model within two weeks. And that way you can eliminate saying if you would accept. And I think your closing line looks good and your formatting looks good. And I think you addressed Mr. Womack and signed off nicely as well. So good job overall.